Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Bohan. Today we're going to work on the Masterminds from the TryHackMe. This challenge is made by Russia Panda, and um, basically this challenge is doing a malicious traffic analysis with Brim. If you're not aware what Brim is, Brim basically it is traffic analysis to build on Zeek, and Zeek is a network analyzer. It is pretty handy if you want to get better visualization for your network traffic. If you use Brim, loading a pcap file, it will give you a better visualization. So let me load starting the Brim very quick. So when you're starting the Brim, once you started it, you can pretty straightforward. You can choose the file you want to load, which I want to load my infection one here. At the same time, I also want to open my infection one to in case I need to analyze the traffic in Wireshark. Because you want to like use multiple tools to aid your investigations, to not just rely on one tool, right? So we see that in Brim you have really nice interface here. You have the GUI, you have a bunch of tag, which is kind of like some of them are Shurigata alerts based on the Shurigata rules you ingested into the Brim. It's kind of like IDS, but is you're more likely you do this like load your pickup traffic and you ingest your Shurigata rules in here, and you can analyze some malicious traffic based on your Shurigata rules and the Zeek queries. So on your left side, you have queries here. All these queries, it is some of them are Zeek queries. So if I go to the HTTP request, you can see that we have these Zeek queries here, and so be sure to check out Zeek official website if you want to learn more about Zeek queries. It's pretty handy if you want to um, like parse your network traffic into this kind of like data presenting to you. So let's look at the questions very quick. The first question is let's look at the scenario very quick. Sorry. So finance department, it's been compromised, and three machines. So you have three infections. That means you have like three different machines being compromised, and just use Brim to analyze the traffic and find the IOC, and determine who stand behind the attacks. So you might want to like look at some IOC and doing some OSINT. So let's look at the questions. Question one, provide the victim's IP address. We see that we have this internal IP here. Internal IP make the external connection to the remote IPs. We know that only internal traffic, internal IP we say is this one, so we know pretty sure that is answer for question one. But let's look at the question two very quick. It says victim attempt to make HTTP connections to two suspicious domains with the status 404 no found. Provide the hosts and domains requested. So this one, if you look at the pcaps, we open early, and if you just filter by HTTP, you can see that we have this bunch of IP address here. But if you change your view to name resolution resolve network address, you can see that we have two domains here that respond to the 404, which is these two domains are your answers, right? So you just put in here. And the third question, the victim made a successful HTTP connection to one of the domains and received the response body length of 1309. Provide the domain and the destination IP. So this one, if you look at the you wanna like check all this file here. So you get this 200 request response here, and if we look at the HTTP tab, we see that we have the file data 1309 bytes, and if you open follow the TCP stream, you can see that you have the host here, which is one of our answer, and this one is respond like a JavaScript doing some execution. And we have this 1309 bytes data being respond to the user. So that is our question here. So you might want to like so the network the IP address is this one. So it is this one. The next question is asking how many unique DNS requests were made to this domain, including the capitalized domain. So for this question, if you look at the Brim, if you open the DNS unique, look at unique DNS queries, it's pretty nice. Here you have this summarized queries. It's pretty powerful. Here we have the zig queries doing this all the trick for us. So we only thing we need to do is to sort it and count it, right? So we have the capitalized cap, this domain here, 6, and we have the lowercase domain here. So we have in total 7. That is the answer. And next question is provide the URL of the domain that the victim reached out over HTTP. So if you just look at HTTP requests, right, we say that we have one of this domain reaching out to this domain, right? This domain will have that in the HTTP request in the Brim, and it's asking for the URL. So we have this URL here. Next question, provide the IP address of the malicious server and the executable and the victim downloaded from the server, right? So you have this you're asking for the executable, right? So the only executable you can see is this one, right? So but if you wish, you can definitely extract this executable and getting its hash, and so you can actually do it here. So if you just export the contents here, you get the HTTP, right? You have the HTTP here. So if you do that, you will have the you will have that file available to you, right? So HTMLG, right? So I think this one you have to use Brim to find it, because we didn't see any like executable in here, so we only see the txt file HTML here. I'm not too sure why, but let me check the couple things here. So we have this file here. Sometimes it does not show you, but if you follow the TCP stream, it gives you a response to you back. So right, but it seems does not like being downloaded, so I'm not too sure. I think it's not successful, so it is not showing in the Wireshark traffic. So that's the next question for the answer here. Pretty straightforward, right? And the next question is based on the information gathered from the second question, provide the name of the malware. We know that is Hamilton, right? But if you want to check this out, just check the just throw this into the VirusTotal, right? Rush Panda is pretty nice to us, provided a link for us to look at it. So we have the community here, we have the Hamilton malware here, right? So we can Hamilton IOCs being available here. So that is first infection scenario. Let's look at the next one very quick. So let me load my traffic very quick. So just close this tab, right? I think I just closed off it. I have to reopen it. So, but let me just do it very quick. Let me open my infection2 file very quick as well. So I have infection available for us, and I'm going to open PCAP from here as well, right? It's gonna take a while to load, but all the process is gonna be similar. You just need to like use Brim and Wireshark to aid your investigations. In case there's some stuff you cannot see in the Brim, you can use Wireshark. And some stuff you cannot find easily in the Wireshark, you can use Brim, right? So it's always like complement with each other, right? So you look at the infection to the PCAP in the Brim, you go to the HTTP requests, and the first question is asking the victims. Victim is always the internal IP, right? So it's here. And provide the IP address victim made the post connections to, right? So if you make you have here already, so the message is post, and we have the remote IP starts with 5, right? Straightforward. How many post connection were made to the IP address, right? So unique count 3, right? We have the 3 post requests. And the provided domain where the binary was downloaded from. So it's asking for this binary file here, right? So this is a domain you want to provide it as answer, right? So next question is provide the name of the binary including the full URL. We saw earlier that this is a full URL, and provide the IP address of the domain that hosts the binary, right? IP address also you can see here. So there were 2 Surigata network children were detected alerts. What were the source and the destination IP addresses? So this one you can look at the Surigata alerts. So you have this 2 remote IP, right? So yeah, it's asking your source and the destination IP, so it's pretty obvious, straightforward, right? So this one is basically, it is based on the Surigata rules. I mentioned earlier that you have to ingesting a route to the Brim, and I think you have a Surigata engine in the Brim you need to configure in order to for your traffic to be analyzed by the Surigata and triggered as like a rules alerts in here. So next question is, taking a look at the top domain HTTP request provides the name of the stealer. So if you look at this OSINT, like open source URL database, it's include all the malicious URLs in that URL host. So if you look at it and you just put in here, so you can see that we have this URL here offline already, so they are not active. So but it is a red light stealer malware was being downloaded, right? So that is a scenario 2. Let's tackle the last scenarios. Straightforward, right? Just you need to like open a new tab, open a file, right? infection 3, right? And be sure to like open one of these PCAP files, right? Which you can help you to investigate. So look at the HTTP request very quick. It's still loading, right? Wait. Is it still loading, I think? Yeah. Yeah, it's still loading. So it's loaded. We can see that HTTP requests. We have a bunch of like external connection to this Russia domain. Downloaded a bunch of exe files and have this windowsupdates.com. Those IP are likely legit. I think those traffic, but this Russia IP and address is definitely suspicious. So first question first. First is the victim's address for the IP address, right? So just use this internal IP as your victim's IP, right? Second question, C2 domains. Pretty obvious here that you have this C2 domains of this Russia based, right? So you just put these three unique Russia domains here as your answer, right? And provide the IP address of these three domains in the previous questions. Just need to find a corresponding IP address, right? Straightforward. How many unique DNS queries were made to the domain associated with the first IP address from the previous answer? So you need to find the DNS request made to the this Russia domain with 162, right? Look at your unique DNS queries. You got a bunch of DNS queries here, so it's really nice thing that Brim, this Zik queries gives you the visibilities on your DNS query. You can count in here very easily. So let's look at that. Let's look at that particular domains were being made some DNS queries. We see it's starting with the first IP address from the previous answer, right? So the previous answer is X. I think this IP address is associated with 162, right? It's associated with the EF, this Russia domain. So what we need to do is we need to find the DNS queries to these EF domains, and we can just go into unique DNS queries. We can actually queries based on the alphabetics. You can see that we want to check out that specific domains. So it starts with E, right? So we have these two domains. One is to the Russia and the one is to this country. So we know that the count is 2, right? That is the answer. And next question, how many binaries were downloaded from the above domain in total, which we can check out HTTP requests. So we have this 5. So if you count it, 5 unique executable was being downloaded, right, from this domain, from this EF domain, right? Yeah, so from this EF domain, you have this 5 unique executable was being downloaded, right? So next question is provide the user agent listed to download the binaries. I found this would be easier to do it in the Wireshark because I didn't see the easy way to do it in the Brim in this case. So if you filter out HTTP, you can look at that specific, if you name resolution to the network address, right? So if you look at the network address, you can find that some remote traffic to this destinations. You can follow it, right? So we see we have this Macintosh, right? So it's a Mac OS being used to download this malicious executable. So that is the answer for this. And provide the amount of DNS connection made in total for this packet capture, right? So if you look at the Brim, if you look at the activity overview, you can see that DNS requests in total is 986, right? And with some OSINT skills provide the name of the worm used in the first domain you have managed to collect from question 2. There's a lot of tools you can use, right? So if you like, I used like you can use Alien Vault, right? Alien Vault is a pretty good open sourced OTX, right? Yeah, Alien Vault OTX is pretty good to like searching for this IOCs, right? So it is this domain it has been done, but like it is, but if we just search for like we need to obfuscate it, right? So malware. The first question, first one, it comes up with Profix trick botnet campaign leading to this multiple infections, right? So pretty obvious here. We have this. I have this malware name is Profix, right? That is for our last questions, and that is for today. And special thanks to Russia Panda again for creating this excellent challenge, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video walkthrough as well. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.